Hello and welcome, yes, welcome to class 273. Wow, we are slowly approaching the end of this course. Maybe. At program 290 is officially the end of the course, maybe 300. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, maybe we'll continue, maybe we won't. I'm not sure yet. But in any case, let's get going. Point 22, Unit 24, point 22, page 269. We're going to continue with regular verbs. Third column, regular verbs that in the past have an extra syllable. Act, acted. Depend, depended. Count, 1, 2, 3, counted. Insist. Every day I insist that you study English. Every day I insist that you make an effort. Every day I insist that you watch this program regularly. Last week the same. Last week I insisted, every day I insisted that you make an effort. I insisted that you study. And I insisted that you watch this program regularly. It's interesting with the verb to insist. The verb to insist, to request, to suggest, to demand are similar to Spanish in the subjunctive. For example, yo quiero que él venga. I want him to come. Claro, no hay subjuntivo en inglés en este caso. I want him to come. However, with insist, request, suggest, etc., yes. Yesterday I insisted that he come. Not he comes, third person singular, but it's third person singular of the subjunctive. So, every day I insist that you study. Every day I insist that he study. Every day I insist that she study. Every day I insist. And yesterday I insisted that you make an effort. And yesterday I insisted that she make. Claro, en español, insisto que haga, insistí en que hiciera. Yo insisto a diario que ella haga un esfuerzo y ayer insistí en que hiciera, pero en inglés no make en ambos casos. Every day I insist that she make an effort, and yesterday I insisted that she make an effort. Escucha esto, insisto todos los días en que ella esté presente aquí. Every day I insist that she be here. She be. I be. Every day you insist that I be ready. Every day you insist that I be the teacher. Cada día insistes en que yo sea el profesor. Y a la semana pasada insististeis todos en que yo fuera el profesor. Every day you insist that I be the teacher. And last week, all of you insisted that I be. Curioso forma en inglés, pero es el subjuntivo latino pasado al inglés. Last week, everybody insisted that I be the teacher. and I insisted last week that she be present, etc. Okay, insisted, invent. Who invented the telephone? Well, according to the patents, Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Who invented mayonnaise? La mayonesa. The people in Mahón, the town in Menorca, invented mayonnaise. Yeah, that's what they say here, mayonesa, de Mahón. Yes, but maybe. But mayonnaise is simply an egg and oil. Probably 5,000 years ago, somebody invented mayonnaise, but I don't know. I really don't know. Who invented the submarine? El submarino. Well, here in Spain, people say Isaac Peral invented the submarine. Who invented the helicopter? Aquí las preguntas, who invented, quién, no hay verbo auxiliar, porque no hay sujeto. Who invented the helicopter? Ahora sí, inserto un sujeto. Sí. Did Isaac Peral invent the helicopter? No, he didn't. Did Thomas Edison invent the helicopter? No, he didn't. Who invented? Cuando no hay sujeto identificado todavía, who busca, estamos buscando sujeto, no hay quien auxiliar con verbos auxiliares. So who invented the helicopter? Well, here in Spain, people say Ricardo de la Cierva, I think, or was he the historian, invented the helicopter. The helicopter. Who invented the English language? I don't know. Who invented the spelling of the English language? I don't know, but whoever invented the spelling should be put in prison for life. Cadena perpetua. All right. Juan Paredón. Who knows? Whoever invented English spelling. Invented. Yes. Last week, do you remember? I invited you to a party and you didn't come. Do you remember? Look, last Saturday night there was a party for all the students in this program, in this English course. I invited you. I invited Marta. Marta came, eh? And I invited everybody in my company, and I invited everybody who are students, but you didn't come. You didn't show up. I invited you. Do you remember? Did you receive my invitation? I invited you. Invited to land. The first person to land on the moon were two people, Armstrong and Aldrin. Edwin Aldrin, and I can't remember his first name. Oh my God, Mr. Armstrong. Okay. Marta, do you remember his first name? Yes? Neil Armstrong. My God, I'm getting old. I'm losing my memory. Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin landed on the moon. In Spanish, say alunizaron. In Spanish, you say alunizar y amerizar. If you land on water. We use the verb to land always. To land on the moon, to land on the river, in the water, to land on land. So Apollo 11 was the first mission that landed on the moon. They landed on the moon. And first, Neil Armstrong got out and walked around on the moon. Then he came back and he knocked on the capsule door, and Aldrin inside said, "Who is it?" All right. But they landed on the moon first. How many missions landed on the moon? 6. 6 NASA missions landed successfully on the moon. How many missions landed on Mars? Well, no manned missions have landed on Mars. Landed. The last time I landed in Barajas Airport was a long time ago, about a year ago, the last time I landed. All right, landed, lifted. As you know, I always try to lift this table, but I can't. It's too heavy for me. I'm not strong enough. It's too heavy for me to lift. I'm not strong enough to lift it. I'm not strong enough to lift the table because the table is too heavy. Yes, the table isn't light enough. Yes, I'm too weak. But in any case, together, Martin and I, we can lift the table. And every day it's true, after this class, when the class is over, Marta and I lift the table. I say 1, 2, 3, and we lift the table and we move it about 4 meters over there. Because then with the camera, with the 2 cameras, we do other things and with a different background. But yesterday we lifted the table. In fact, yesterday 3 of us, another person helped Marta and me lift the table, and we lifted it. We lifted it together. Every day Marta and I lift it. We lift it. Every day we lift it, and yesterday we lifted it. Lifted it. And we lifted it between 3 of us because yesterday another person came. Augusto came and he helped us. And so between the three of us, we lifted it, and we lifted it very easily. It's heavy, but it's not too heavy for 3 people. And it's heavy, but it's not too heavy for 2 people. And Marta's menudita. Marta's not the, she has a lithe figure. However, between the 2 of us, we lifted it every day last week, and we have lifted it every day this week. To lift, all right, to last. How long did the 30 Years' War last? It lasted 30 years. How long did the 100 Years' War last? It lasted 126 years, I think. How long did the Spanish Civil War last? It lasted 3 years. How long does Gone with the Wind last? It lasts 4 hours, 4 hours. How long did the American Civil War last? It lasted almost 4.5 years. 4.5 years. How long did the Napoleonic Wars last in Spain? The Napoleonic War, the Peninsular War in Spain, lasted 6 years, from 1808 to 1814. It lasted 4 years. How long did the First Republic last in Spain? It lasted a year, 1 year, I think. How long did the Second Republic last? The Second Republic lasted 5 years, from 1931. Well, no, not true. The Second Republic lasted 8 years, from 1931 to 1939, because it continued until the end of the Civil War. Last. The past tense of last. Every day it lasts. Yesterday it lasted. Need. I need your help. If you want me to, my success as a teacher depends on you. I mean, you have to make the effort. So I need your help. I need your help today, and I needed your help yesterday, and I needed your help last June, last July. I needed your help every month, and I still need your help. I have the magic wand, abracadabra, but the magic is in you. Remember, you make the magic. I'm the catalyst. So I have always needed, siempre necesitado, siempre he necesitado. I've always needed your help. I need your help now. I needed your help last month. And I've always needed your help. Yes. And I come here, I work, because I need to work. I need to earn money. Yes. And I started working as a teacher in 1974. I started working as a teacher because I needed money. In August 1974, I needed to start earning money. I came to Spain for the second time with the idea of staying in Spain, with the idea of staying in Spain for 2 years to perfect my mastery of Spanish, and then to go back to the United States to do a doctorate degree in Spanish literature. When I came, I needed to start making a living. I needed to start financing myself. I needed to rent an apartment. I needed to pay public transport. And so I needed to start working. So I started working as an English teacher simply to make money. And I never stopped. Until today, I'm still an English teacher. Life sentence, cadena perpetua. Yes, I have a life sentence as an English teacher. But the reason I started teaching English wasn't necessarily because I wanted to be an English teacher. It was simply because I needed to start making money, earning money. Aquí hay 3 verbos de la tercera columna. I didn't start teaching English because I wanted wanted. I didn't start teaching English in 1974 because I wanted to become an English teacher. No. I started teaching English because I needed, started, needed, wanted. Start, need, want, started, needed, wanted. Because I needed to make money. I needed to earn money. I needed to pay the rent. I needed to make a living. Ganarme la vida un poco. Yes, costear mi estancia. I needed to pay the way in order to improve my Spanish, to perfect my Spanish. And I perfected. Perfeccionar, perfeccioné. To perfect. Es curioso. La palabra perfecto is perfect. Perfect. The British, perfect. 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 Ahora, el verbo perfeccionar is to perfect. To perfect. We change the stress. In the noun, if you want to speak perfect English, you need to perfect your grammar. Do you understand? If you want to speak perfect English, you need to perfect. Perfected in the past. So, I perfected my Spanish. But I needed to work. And so, I decided to find a job. And the easiest job to find was teaching English. So I started teaching English. And I have continued until today. All right, pointed. Yeah, I'm pointing at you. Remember, I'm pointing at you with both hands. Now I'm pointing at myself with both hands. Do you remember many, many months ago, at the beginning, perhaps in the month of March and April, I pointed at you many, many times. Do you remember? Because I was teaching the present continuous. I'm sitting, I'm looking at you, I'm pointing at you, I'm scratching my elbow, I'm yawning, etc. I was teaching the present continuous or the present progressive. And of course, how many times did I point at you? Do you remember? I probably pointed at you, te señalé seguramente. I probably pointed at you 20 times with my right hand. I probably pointed at you 20 times with my left hand. And I probably pointed at you 30 times with both hands. And I pointed at myself quite a few times. I pointed at Marta. I pointed at the mirror. I pointed at the picture on the wall. I pointed at the table over there. But I pointed at myself with both hands, like this. You see, like this. Not like that, like this. Many, many times. I pointed. More, yes. Printed. All right. Yes, this book was printed. I don't know. This book was printed a long time ago. Let's see. This book was printed. Oh, no. This book was printed in 2019. Last year, 2019. All right. Well, no, it wasn't. That was 2 years ago. Yeah. Excuse me, we're in 2021 now. This book was printed, I think, in December 2019, which means this book was printed 1 year and 2 months ago, perhaps. Something like that. Who printed it? I don't know. Safecat printed it. Where did they print it? Well, they printed these books. They printed them somewhere. Oh, you good, but where? Where did they print them? Well, they printed them in their printing facilities. Sus instalaciones de impresión. How did they print them? I don't know. I'm not an expert in printing. But did they print the books well? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the layout is good. They printed the books well. All right. And more. One more. Do we still have time? Yes, we still have time. When you came to Spain, Richard, did you buy an apartment or rent an apartment? I rented. I rented an apartment. First, I rented, when I came to Spain permanently in 1974, I lived in a pension for 1 week. And then I rented an apartment. No, I didn't. I lived with a family, a Colombian family. And then I rented an apartment on Princesa Street. And then I rented an apartment on Rosales Street. And then I rented an apartment again on Princesa Street. Rented. How many apartments have you rented in your life? I don't know. I've rented maybe 7 or 8 apartments in my life. How many houses have you bought in your life? I don't know. I've bought 1, 2, 3. I bought, I think, 5 houses in my life. I've rented 8 apartments, and I've bought 5 flats. I've never bought a house. In English, when you say house, basically, it's a chalet. All right. So I've never bought a house. No. I've rented a house, but I never bought a house. I rented a house for this company for residential programs, but I've never bought a house. I've bought several flats and sold several flats, and I've rented maybe 8 different apartments or flats. I've rented. All right. Richard, have you ever rented a car? Yeah. How many cars have you rented in your life? Probably 50, 60, 70, maybe 60 cars. No, less. I've rented probably 30 cars in my life. 30 cars, that's a lot of cars. Yes. What's the best car you've ever rented? The best car I've ever rented was a Peugeot, here in Spain, a Peugeot 505. Fuel injection. It was the best car I've ever rented. Wonderful car. Rented. Okay, shout. Richard, yeah? How often do you shout at Marta? Not very often. Oh, when was the last time you shouted at her? No, excuse me. I've never shouted at Marta. I've shouted to Marta. Oye, Marta. Oye, ¿cuándo empezamos? Luego. So I've shouted to her several times, but I've never shouted at Marta. It's not my style. My management style is not to shout. Yes, what you call ordeno y mando, aquí mando yo. No, it's not my style. I have never shouted at Marta. Yes, I've shouted to Marta from a distance, but I've never shouted at her. Shouted. Have you ever treated Marta badly? No, I've never treated her badly. Have I ever treated you badly? She's shrugging her shoulders. No, she says, I've never treated her badly. Has Marta ever treated me badly? Marta, have you ever treated me badly? She's shrugging her shoulders. Nah, she's shaking her head. No, she's never treated me badly. So, we've never treated each other badly. We've always treated each other well. Siempre nos hemos tratado bien el uno con el otro. We've always treated each other well. We've never treated each other badly. To treat, wait. Do you like to wait? I don't like to wait. The last time I waited for somebody was last week. Yeah. I was in a restaurant, yeah, and I waited about 10 minutes. But last month, I was in another restaurant and I waited half an hour. Yeah. About 1 year of my life in Spain has been spent waiting for others. My Spanish friends are not famous for punctuality necessarily. There are some punctual Spaniards, but I have a problem. I am pathologically punctual. Yes, punctuality It's an obsession. I can't help it. I can't help it means no lo puedo evitar. No, no significa no lo puedo ayudar. Suena, I can't help it. I can't help it means no lo puedo evitar. I am pathologically punctual. I always arrive on time or early. And that's not usually the case. So, I have waited for other people many, many times in my life. I've waited many, many times. All right, to wait, to want. What do you want in life? Well, I want to be happy. What did you want in life 40 years ago? The same. 40 years ago, I wanted to be happy. But did you come here today because you wanted to come or because you had to come? I came because I wanted to come. Yes, we need to finish this program, so these courses. So I came here because I wanted to come. And now I'm going to say goodbye because I need to say goodbye. Take care.